No, okay? All right, so Thomas is watching for the pictures that you can submit through WIBW.com, of course. We have spin right there. That's the confirmed tornado moving toward Enterprise at this point at 35 miles per hour. All right, zooming back out, we still have a tornado warning in Washington County as well. And on the radar, you'll see that there's a big chunk of northeast Kansas that is still dry at this point. Topeka, Holton, Osage City, Emporia, not seeing anything yet. And this is very similar to the computer models have been indicating would happen, that we'd see isolated storm cells developing out ahead of the cold front with the potential of rotating and producing tornadoes. And ultimately behind this is a cold front that will sweep through. It will eat up these storms with it, and the whole thing will come through as a wind damage event later on tonight. But as of right now, in Topeka, Holton, Burlington, Emporia, you've still got some time. You got about an hour or so probably before you have rain even moving in. In many of these towns, Holton, Hiawatha, it's going to be a while before the storms move in. They will, but it's going to be a few hours before you actually get these moving into the area. Do we have the live stream going online, Thomas?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're live streaming on WIBW.com as well, so you can, of course, pick that up from our apps too. So we'll be live here on TV as long as we have a tornado warning within the WIBW viewing area, of course. We may have continuous tornado warnings for the next several hours. That's a real possibility here. So looking back to the west, I mentioned we have the cold front as well. This line of storms is where the cold front is located. These will ultimately catch up with the first line of storms in the next couple of hours, and it will all come through as one nasty group of straight line winds is what will happen later on in the night, and that's not just possible, that's going to happen. So that's a 100% chance of seeing widespread heavy rain, some damaging winds, and probably some hail with those as well. But that is going to be a wind damage event coming across northeast Kansas later on tonight, mainly between 9 p.m. and about 1 a.m. All right, strongest rotation I see right now is very close to the town of Washington. If you are in or close to Washington right now, you need to take cover at this point. It's still a Doppler radar indicated tornado, and a hail the size of nickels has been reported with this. I'm looking to see if there's any other mentions here. I have the chat here open with all the reports, see what's going on. I don't see reports of that one being on the ground at this point, but the one that's in Dickinson County has been reported as on the ground. But this thing near Washington, Kansas at this point is getting a very serious rotation with it, and that's really on the edge of the first warning. I'm going to check the debris mode here, see if I see anything flying with this. At this point, I don't. I just see the rotation showing up there on the radar, and it's really at the edge of that first tornado warning that was issued. And actually, the rotation is the warning for that tornado warning is actually a little farther down the way here. But there's that other area of rotation that's showing up a little deeper into the storm. But Washington, Morrowville, you should be taking cover right now if you're not already. These areas are in the path of a hook echo right here, well-defined rotation, and that's not a confirmed tornado. It does have hail the size of just bigger than golf balls, actually, and that is moving to the northeast toward Morrowville and Washington. I believe Thomas Schmidt has some pictures from storm spotters to share with us. Thomas, what do you have?
We sure do, and so like you were mentioning, the hail sizes. We're seeing big hail. This is earlier in Concordia. You can see here from Janelle Coons. Look, that's a baseball next to it, but that's probably golf ball-sized hail here coming in with that tornado-warned storm now moving off towards out of Concordia into the county to the north. So here's also the funnel cloud in Clyde. We've got a video there from there. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Concordia, again, the hail is going to be the main story with this one. Here's some, again, about golf ball-sized hail is what we're looking at. In some places, could see slightly larger than golf ball-sized hail with this storm as it continues to move off into Washington and Republican counties. Here's one from Concordia. That's a pretty nasty hailstone there, pretty large. Again, golf ball, if not slightly larger than golf ball-sized hail coming through the area. So here's a look now. This was in the storm over Manhattan. Again, storms in the area. Looking at also this funnel cloud here sent in from Clyde. Let's go ahead and check this video out and see how it looks. So you can kind of see what they're talking about. A little lowering there. See if I can skip ahead just a bit and to get to it. And so there is the funnel itself. So that might be what they're talking about. Like we were talking about, it's a radar-indicated storm up to the north. This one's down in Clyde, though, and that one was confirmed, I believe, with that funnel cloud. Going back towards our radar here, we can now see, again, that warning there near Washington for the tornado warning. That is still radar-indicated, I believe. And so, but it is still tight rotation there. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking at. And right now we are checking out, again, what we're seeing there. And Jeremy has an update for you here.
All right, Thomas, yeah, we have a new tornado warning issued just a moment ago for Washington. That's going to be for the area I just mentioned a moment ago where there was a new rotation popping up kind of at the edge of the old warning that was in place. I'm going to turn on my interactive stuff here. There we go. And back into Washington County, we have this new tornado warning just issued in the last moment here. Let me pan over there. All right, so Washington County is where we have this new tornado warning that's been issued in just the last few moments. It's this one. So right there, just to right over the town of Washington, actually, is where the National Weather Service says they see the rotation with this, and it's moving northeast at 35 miles per hour, like a lot of the storms have been. So we have the confirmed tornado that's just about 5 miles northeast of the town of Carlton, and a Doppler radar indicated tornado that's located in the town of Washington. All right, so the storm that's storm warning that's for Gary, Dickinson, Riley County, golf ball size hail possible with this one at this point, and the National Weather Service saying considerable damage possible with this, which is kind of upgrading the intensity there with the language on that one. All right, I'm going to zoom in more closely here on this is the storm that's in Washington County at this point, and the new warning is the one in the upper right. That includes that rotation I was showing you that was right over the town of Washington itself. All right, there it is, and that's more impressive now by far. So Hollenberg and Hanover, you should be taking cover right now if you are in Hollenberg and Hanover. You have time of arrival here to Hanover. You got just about 7 o'clock before that would move in, and then in the town of Hollenberg, let's get it going a little farther to the north. 7:06, it will move into Hollenberg on the path. It's if it continues making its way a little farther to the northeast. Check the debris mode here and see if this thing has any debris flying with. I don't see anything at this point, but that location is a pretty good distance away from the radar itself. And then the other warning here, expiring at 7:15 for the other part of the rotation. There's actually rotation farther back here that was coming toward Washington and Morrowville as well. So that's a second tornado. There's 2 different areas of rotation with this. So we have a tornado warning going until 6:45 for the warning that's back to the southwest, and then 7:15 for the tornado warning for the Hollenberg, Hanover, and Washington areas. So we have 2 different tornado warnings there, Doppler radar indicated. This one is a confirmed tornado that has touched down just a few minutes ago and is making its way to the north toward areas like Enterprise and Chapman. You're in the path of this, and then ultimately that will be moving toward Interstate 70, close to Chapman and Enterprise and Abilene's where that's going to be going. So there's the view right now on I-70 from the Can Drive camera there. KDOT, of course, providing those views.
Jeremy, we got a new tornado warning that was issued for an observed tornado in that Dickinson-Gary County tornado warning.
Okay.
Going until 7:15.
And they're going to go with confirmed on this one, too. All right.
They are, yes.
They are saying this is confirmed, and you can see it there. They just painted it on, so it goes up into Chapman, and it goes into the southwest part of Gary County. And they're saying this is an observed tornado. So the full text on this, let me give it to you here. We've got a tornado warning until 7:15. Tornado located 5 miles southwest of Enterprise, moving northeast at 30. Hail up to 2 inches diameter, and a confirmed tornado just a few minutes ago, and moving to the northeast as I mentioned with this. So that'll be moving toward areas like Chapman, and ultimately could affect areas like Dickinson. It could affect areas like Junction City. It could affect folks around Fort Riley is a possibility for you as well. All right, zooming back out, we'll check out the warning up to the north too. And the warning that's farther north, this is still a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning that is moving into the Hanover and Hollenberg areas right now. Back over onto the velocity here, the well-defined spin to that, getting very close to Hanover at this time. Washington, you should still be in your safe spot, taking cover at this point. That storm with the rotation moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour is going to affect Hanover in just a few minutes here. If it takes more of a northern move, Hollenberg could be affected by 7:03 if it goes more in your direction. But again, that is a tornado warning that's Doppler radar indicated, and that one goes until 7:15 p.m. All right, zooming back out on this, we'll look at the other two storms that are in progress that are causing trouble at this point. This one has a severe storm warning with it that includes Clay Center, Leonardville, Riley, going until 7:15. This has hail up to 2 inches in diameter is what's possible with it. The National Weather Service says that's observed. As a matter of fact, you'll see right there that hailstone symbol is a 1.5-inch diameter hail a couple of minutes ago to the town of Moonlight. And then to the south, I'll show you where the tornado was confirmed a few minutes ago. It's going to be this one right here, just southwest of New Bern. 6:31 is when they said they saw that, and that storm moving to the northeast. Again, that's considered a confirmed tornado that's on the ground just a few minutes ago, moving northeast to where areas like Chapman, Enterprise. And
by the way, Enterprise, softball-sized hail being reported.
Softball-sized hail, okay? Softball-sized hail is what Doug says they have in Enterprise, Kansas, being reported. So that's a big deal, obviously. So that'll be moving across I-70 in just a few minutes here. And I do have video from Can Drive there, very close to that. I'm going to check out what we've got from. Let's check out the view from Abilene at the Abilene exit. That camera. Always kind of foggy. I think it's covered in dirt or dust or something. So let's check out the other one from the Chapman exit, just a few miles up the road here. There's the view there. And there might be hail falling in that video. I can't quite tell, but traffic looks like it's not coming to a complete stop yet. But if you're dealing with hail that big, certainly the chances are people are pulling off the side of the road in some form or fashion. But there's the hail showing up there, as Doug mentioned. Around Enterprise, softball-sized hail falling with that. That's absolutely monster-sized hail, and that'll be moving to the northeast. So softball-sized hail with this, moving toward Chapman at roughly 35 miles per hour. You'll be looking at it about 6:59 p.m. Chapman about 6:59 as well. So that's a very dangerous storm. Softball-sized hail can do a lot of damage. Certainly want to be caught up in that. Thomas, you have more pictures?
Yes, we have a picture. This is a picture of that confirmed tornado now down in Dickinson County, moving into the Enterprise area. This was taken by Nick. This is about 10 to maybe 15 minutes ago, and it was just a funnel cloud. You can see it pretty clearly there. And again, there is a confirmed report now of that tornado being down on the ground. And so here's a look. And now the rotation here isn't as strong as what it was, but still enough to prompt that tornado warning. And of course, we did just see the picture there. So there is still lowering the funnel and the tornado being confirmed there now. That's the storm there, and also seeing reports here, like Doug said, that softball-sized hail, our radar is picking up on 4-inch hail. So right there in that softball-sized ballpark range. So it's, again, a serious storm. Take it significant, even if not for the tornado shelter. Please take shelter, again, just for the hail itself, because softball damage can do a lot of damage. Stay away from the windows, get inside, and, of course, with the tornado warning, you also want to be getting indoors. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as you can. Below ground is your best option. Jeremy, anything else you have for you?
Yeah, Thomas, we do have the tornado warnings in a couple of places. We have the one for Dickinson County, Gary County as well. As mentioned a moment ago, we had the softball-sized hail report. Doug, tell us about the softball-sized hail report you heard about. What was that?
Yeah, it was technically about softball grapefruit-sized hail, about 4 inches in diameter at 6:45. Reading here on my computer here, it was in the Enterprise area with that particular storm. And of course, we have a couple of tornado warnings that have been issued for the Washington portions of Dickinson and Gary County for the next 15, 20 minutes. And so with these warnings, that more warnings could continue over the course of the evening hours. Make sure that you go to lowest level of your home underneath something sturdy, staircase or a heavy table. Cover your head, have a helmet, blanket, or pillow. And this is for anyone in Northeast Kansas, because everyone is in a tornado watch and could be occurring at any point in time for the rest of the evening. Have these stuff ready to go in case your county is in the warning, and keeping the shelter until the storm has passed. Of course, don't forget your shoes. And if you are driving, of course, hopefully you're not, because this has been well advertised on the timing of these storms that have been pushing through through. We are going to continue to keep an eye on these storms as they push through the area. Let's see if I can go to Supercast here. Supercast doing a decent job with these storms, and you'll notice they will continue to push eastward through the evening hours. So at least on this particular model, maybe pushing through the Topeka area closer to 10, 11 o'clock with the bulk of the activity out of the area by 1, 2 o'clock. So this is going to be about a 6-hour event here that we'll be in with this activity as it continues to push through the area. Jeremy?
All right, Doug, we have the tornado warning now for Washington County is a confirmed tornado. It has been spotted by a trained spotter, and it is confirmed is on the ground now. So this one, it's not into Marshall County yet. It's right there over the town of Washington is where it's located, but this is a confirmed tornado that's located in Washington County at this point. So I'm going to zoom in more closely on this one. And again, storm spotters saying they actually saw this tornado as touching down just a couple of miles northeast of Washington. And the velocity on here, we'll check that again. And it's going to get close to Hanover in the next few moments here. The velocity on there looks pretty impressive on this, I'd say. But around Hanover at this time, you need to be taking cover right now. There's your rotation showing up on the velocity mode here on the radar. We'll check out the debris mode and see if we see anything. I do not see debris flying from what I can see there on the correlation coefficient on the radar, but storm spotters saying they saw this just a few minutes ago. So Hanover, you are in the path of a confirmed tornado right now. So if you are in Hanover, this is not a possible tornado. It is a tornado that's been observed by a trained spotter. That's it right here. So you need to take cover right away if you're in this area. So we have winds going different directions right there in this spot that's just south of Hollenberg and close to Hanover at this time, moving to the northeast at roughly 30 miles per hour. So several of these storms have been dangerous, and that one now has a confirmed tornado with it as well. The other storm, the confirmed tornado, is this one that's in Dickinson County at this time, moving toward the town of Chapman at this point, and even on the this is a composite of different radars. You can still see the hook echo in there, which you don't generally see that on the on a composite. You generally have to see it with the single sight to really pick those out, but it's very well defined right there. Now, as Doug mentioned a moment ago, it's got hail about the size of a grapefruit or a softball, and the report there you'll see observed. That means the tornado is observed. Hail size, 4 inches in diameter. That can do a lot of damage. You do not want to be outside trying to take pictures of this. If you want to get a picture in 30 minutes after it's gone by, that might be safe. But if you're on Enterprise and Chapman, you should be taking cover right now. I wouldn't want anybody outside right now trying to even think about getting a picture of that with softball-size hail. That's extraordinarily dangerous. So please do not, if you're in the Chapman area, do not try to go outside taking pictures of this. That would be extremely dangerous, and it could risk your life. So please do not try to do that. I'm looking at the cameras there to see if I saw any hail on the highway yet. I don't, but you can see that this hail core, this dark area of purple that's on this map, this is going to be the big hail, and that's going to be moving over Chapman and I-70 just really in the next few minutes. I'm going to bring the camera up here, as a matter of fact, and as I mentioned, I don't see it on the highway just yet, but in the next few moments we probably will. So I'm going to keep that video ready.
Yeah,
That's
Jeremy, if you want to come to me and then you can find the camera, I want to talk about some of the hail sizes that we have. Of course, we talk about, the coins and the smaller size hail, and then we get into the sports balls, ping pong ball size hail, golf ball size. These are common when it comes to the severe weather, even hen egg size. But once you get into the tennis ball or greater, that's when you start to get into the severe, very rare, and severe, exceptionally rare. Now we're in that category with softball and 4-inch diameter hail, and then grapefruit, which is 4.5, which technically that's what they officially called it from the Weather Service with the storm report, 4.5 grapefruit size hail. So whatever it is, softball or grapefruit, that's about as high as it gets, at least categorizing how large a particular hail core gets. And it looks like a new report is coming in, reports of a tornado at 6:40 in the Washington area, brief touchdown just outside of the city of Washington at 6:40. So about 15 minutes ago, but these tornadoes are touching down, and so that's why we have to keep a close attention to all these warnings that will continue to come in through the evening.
All right, thank you, Doug. We continue with the tornado warnings in a couple of different areas. As Doug mentioned, we have a confirmation that this touched down a few minutes ago near the town of Washington just a few minutes ago, and it is still a confirmed tornado that's at this point. And the rotation for this now appears to be close to Hanover and Hollenberg. So we'll check out the velocity on here, and your spin with this has been right there, very close to the town of Hollenberg at this time. So if you're in Hollenberg, Hanover, right halfway in between, that's your spin that's in place at this point. So if you're in this area, you need to be taking cover right now. It's a confirmed tornado that touched down a few minutes ago, and did at least a little damage there around Washington. I'm not sure what we have for damage, but we have at least some there where it has touched down. The other confirmed tornado is the one that's heading very close to Chapman at this time, and should be crossing I-70 in really just the next few minutes here. This one coming through Abilene. Enterprise had hail 4 inches diameter just a few moments ago. It's just amazing how big that is. And the hail core of this is likely to cross I-70 very close to Chapman in the next just a few moments here. And I'm kind of stepping off so I can get that tower camera up that's located there in the path of this. I want to see if we get a video of that as it does cross I-70 there close to Chapman. And let's go and bring up the camera now. There you go. And the traffic's moving very slow with their hazards on there, so most likely it is hailing at the location with very heavy rain, but at this point I can't see it down, the hail all the way down. All right, there's a new tornado warning now for Marshall County. So let's fly up there on the radar. So Marshall County, you are now in the list of tornado warning counties, and this is going to be, let's see if they're issuing it as a Doppler indicated, or okay, it's observed, radar indicated. Okay, so we've got Marshall and Washington in this new tornado warning, and they're going to say this is radar indicated. So this is based on the same storm that earlier produced the tornado in the town of Washington earlier, and they're saying that 656, located 4 miles northwest of Hanover, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So Hanover, Okedo, Hollenberg, Bremen are all in the path of this one. This is considered to be Doppler radar indicated. But Okedo, Herkimer, you should be taking shelter right now in these towns. We'll go ahead and take the track out here. They said it's going 40 miles per hour. Yeah, 45. All right, so we got 45 miles per hour. Okedo, 720. Herkimer, 710. Bremen, about 705. And Hanover, it's just right near you at this point. You should be taking cover right now if you're in Hanover. And it looks like they're actually going to take this as a confirmed tornado. Okay, so they have a confirmed tornado on the Nebraska side of the state line. They have a Doppler radar indicated tornado on the Kansas side of the state line there. That's interesting, but either way, you should be taking cover with that. All right, down the line here, update on the tornado warning that's in Dickinson and Gary County. They are going with Doppler radar indicated now with this part of the storm as it moves through Chapman, Enterprise, and ultimately is going to affect parts of Gary County as well.
It's got 3-inch diameter hail with that too.
Where is that? Oh, yeah. So hail just over the size of a baseball being is the indication from the National Weather Service with this, as it's moving very close there to Chapman, and should be moving into the northwest part of Gary County and possibly into Riley County and Clay County as well in the path of that. So this is the view again from I-70 at the Chapman exit 286, and there's hail falling there. I can't see how big it is. I don't see it bouncing off the road, so it's not 3 inches in that video, but certainly it's large enough to cause some troubles. But that's the view from the Chapman exit on I-70 right now there. And then zooming back out, we have the severe storm warning for Wakefield to the town of Riley at this point. Fort Riley, you're not in a warning right now, but you do have to watch that tornado warning to your southwest. And then to the north, we have a severe storm warning for the Lynn and Barnes area. This is going to be a severe storm warning for hail the size of quarters, winds to 60 going until 7:30. And then to the north, we have the tornado warning that goes for Marshall County and Washington County until 7:15 for rotation that was near the town of Hanover, and that's moving to the northeast at roughly 45 miles per hour. So back in the velocity here, we'll see if we see our spin still, and it looks like it's closer to Hanover at this time from what I see. but this is a rotation kind of in that area, and it is moving to the northeast. So Herkimer, Oketo, you should be paying attention to this and taking cover. The actual path of that rotation looks like it probably will go to the north of Oketo and Herkimer, but you should be taking shelter anyway with the storm as you are in that tornado warning. All right, Thomas, you have more pictures?
No, I don't have anything in the form of pictures, but we do have, again, you can just take a look here at the tornado warning. This is the one in Dickinson County making its way towards Chapman. You can see that coupling there, the red and the green. That's some pretty tight rotation showing up there on the radar. So if we take a closer look, we zoom in, see who's in the way of that. That's right just to the east of Enterprise, just by maybe a mile or two, not very long. And again, it's not only the tornado, it's the hail. We're talking softball-sized hail reported earlier from Enterprise. Very big deal, very nasty storm to be paying attention to right here. You can just notice how that ball just kind of sticks out right there. So the Enterprise is there, and that would be where the tornado was. And it's heading off towards the north and east, towards places like Chapman. And we're also looking at another storm up here to the north, again, up here in Hanover, or just out of the area, moving into the Nebraska area. This is also a storm. It was confirmed earlier up in northern Kansas, now beginning to move into Nebraska, and now they've kind of tapered off the confirmed report, but now they're going with the radar indicated side of things with this storm here. And so we have two tornado warnings happening right now. One is just about to get out of Kansas, go to Nebraska. The other one is still in our area down to the south in Dickinson County, moving its way towards Geary County. So, Jeremy, any update from you?
All right, Thomas, yeah, an update. We have a severe storm warning that's been added out ahead of the initial line of storms. This new severe storm warning going until 7:30. This includes Marshall, Nemaha, Pottawatomie, and parts of Riley County. This is going to be for hail about 1 inch in diameter, 60 miles per hour for the wind, moving to the northeast. So Oldsburg, Westmoreland, it's arriving in your towns in the next few moments. Blue Rapids, Frankfort, Onega, you're in the path of this. Ultimately, Corning, Seneca, Centralia, Sabetha, you'll all be dealing with this soon as well. So again, that's a new severe thunderstorm warning to just add to the long list of other warnings that are in place right now. I'm going to check the composite and kind of the overall picture here now. I see more storms developing down around Wichita at this point. And all right, more updates and the warnings there. So we'll pan this over to the left. And what you're going to see here is we have that new storm developing in northeast Sedgwick County. And then farther down the line, we have storms that are in south central Nebraska, extending down toward the Hayes area. That's the cold front. Ultimately, this will swing through with a line of strong straight-line winds with a lot of the storms that come through later on in the evening and tonight. All right, so we have a new update coming in there. Tornado warning. This is Dickinson County. They're saying it's confirmed tornado and 3-inch diameter hail located near Enterprise, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. So that's that southern storm we were looking at a few moments ago. And they're saying that it still has hail bigger than a baseball and that it's still a confirmed tornado close to the town of Enterprise. And that report coming in just a few moments ago from the National Weather Service. Doug, you have an update?
Yeah, just wanted to reset our conditions, and as Jeremy mentioned, we are monitoring that dry line. Just want to show you the dew points. Most spots are in the 60s, which is what we would need, or at least one ingredient that would be needed for a tornado to form. But now we got 45 in Concordia. You can still get a tornado with those dew points, but it's very, very hard. You have to get the other ingredients just right. But once that dry line passes through, we will really see that drop off in the tornado threat, but it will increase the wind threat with the more linear storms. The reason why it's a dry line is because temperatures are not any cooler than what it is behind that dry line. Temperatures all in the 70s and even low 80s for today. So again, looking at Supercast showing these storms pushing to the area. You'll notice by 10 o'clock, that line of storms gets close to the Topeka area and then pushes out of the area by 2 o'clock. So if you're wondering when the storms are going to get into your area, we're still monitoring the western portions of our viewing area probably for the next 2 hours or so, and then getting into the eastern portions of our viewing area, including the Topeka area, probably close to 9, 10 o'clock. Obviously, we're still watching the radar in case any isolated storms develop out ahead of the main line, and we'll be here every step of the way as those storms push through the area this evening.
All right, thanks, Doug. The National Weather Service saying that the storms near Wichita are intensifying rapidly, so we have this cluster that we're obviously dealing with already, but the storms that are near Wichita are also starting to develop and become stronger. and will become problems for us in the next few hours as well as that moves up to areas like Morris County in the next hour or so. So around Chapman, this is where we have the rotation coming close to I-70 now. Right over Enterprise a few minutes ago is where they said they have a confirmed tornado a few minutes ago. Hail bigger than a baseball. 3 inches diameter is just a bit bigger than a baseball. 2.75 inches is officially the measurement on baseball-size hail. The Chapman Enterprise should be taking cover right now. For Gary County, it's just the west central part of the county. It's not even, Junction City is not in this. Fort Riley, you're not in this tornado warning at this point, but you should be paying close attention to it. So at Fort Riley, Junction City, you don't have to take cover right now. You're close enough to just kind of lean forward. If we call you out and say you need to do so, then be ready. But right now, Junction City is not in this. But areas to the north, we still have the confirmed tornado for a severe storm with a tornado warning with a confirmed tornado a few minutes ago with this activity as it's moving into the northwest part of Marshall County. So Marshall County, if you're in Marysville, you don't have to take cover. If you're in the town of Home, over to Beatty, you're not in the path of this. You are not in an area where you have to take cover right now. The tornado is actually just away from you. All right. Cold front getting close to Concordia at this point, and that's going to be the beginning of this line of straight line winds later on this evening. So as the cold front starts getting the areas Doug was mentioning a moment ago where the dew points are dropping off to the 40s, we're expecting to see that become the more widespread wind event that should start moving through later on in this event. So again, right now we have two different tornado warnings. Both of them are said to be confirmed tornadoes at this point. The one that's to the north touched down near the town of Washington a few minutes ago, and now we've got two different areas with tornado warnings there. I want to see what the National Weather Service has got on each one of these. So we've got it moving close. Hanover looks like you're behind the first tornado warning that was there, so it looks like that's actually moved past Hanover, but let me check out the latest text here. 6:56, it's 10 minutes old. They said it was near Hanover, moving northeast 45, so that one's northeast of Hanover. You're behind the first warning, and then the other one here, let's see what the Weather Service is saying about this one. Until 7:15, 6:48, so that's the older one. All right, so the rotation for that looks to me like it's northeast of Hanover, and most likely getting into Nebraska shortly. So we got the two different warnings there. One goes till 7:30, the other goes till 7:15, I believe. And we're expecting to see that 7:15 can't last too much longer. With one till 7:30, that rotation looks to me like it's getting into Nebraska. If you're in Oketo or Herkimer, the rotation from that tornado warning is getting farther from you, not closer to you. So while that tornado warning goes until 7:30, most likely this is going to go around areas like Marysville, Oketo, and Home. So I'm not saying that you're all clear yet. You're still in the tornado warning officially, but most likely we'll see your conditions there improving as that's probably going to be removed from the warning shortly. All right, new updates here. The tornado warning for Washington has an update here, so let's see what we've got on this one. And the National Weather Service looking at Washington County storm. Let's see.
Jeremy, here's a picture we got.
Go ahead, Thomas.
From the Washington storm here. This is Washington, Kansas, just submitted 3 minutes ago from Paul and Susan Stewart. You can make out just a little bit of the lowering there. It's kind of small there on the screen, but you can make it out. Just a tiny little lowering there. That's what they're looking at. It looks more like a kind of a point, maybe a funnel cloud coming down. Not on the ground, I believe, at this moment. Here's a video coming in, quarter-size hail near Palmer, so lots of hail mixed in with this as well. Here's another look from that Clyde, Kansas storm that we had earlier today that was down in the Dickinson County area. And here's a look from taken east of Harrington. Very good, well-defined funnel cloud showing up there as well. So taking a look at the other picture there, that's what we're seeing there near Harrington. Here's one from 5 minutes ago, or about 10 minutes ago, from Navarre, so back down in Dickinson County. Really impressive structure. Again, they had the large hail out of that one. And again, another image there from the Harrington funnel cloud coming down. So thank you for submitting these photos. If you'd like to, you can do this easily. Just go into our WIBW weather homepage, click on the Weather Pics tab, and it's easy to upload. It takes 2 or 3 minutes. I've done it myself a couple times. And Jeremy, any updates on any of the storms happening right now?
All right, Thomas, the National Weather Service has canceled the tornado warning for Washington County at this time. I think that Marshall is still in a tornado warning at this point, but Washington was supposed to go till 7:15. That's been dropped, but we still have the corner of Marshall that's in this as far as I know. So we have Washington out of the tornado warning, northwest part of Marshall still in one, and then we do have the tornado warning that's in Dickinson County and the western part of Gary County. This goes until 7:15. That's only 5 minutes from now. And if this one goes away, then northwest Marshall is 7:30. And that one that's in northwest Marshall, to me, looks like it's more moving into Nebraska. So we may be out of tornado warnings here in a minute. There still could be more. I just looked at a statement from the Storm Prediction Center where they're saying that we're still looking at the likelihood of more severe weather and likely to see this transitioning into more of a straight line wind event within the next hour or so. So there's the rotation to the storm that's coming from Dickinson County is very close to Chapman at this time. That's also where we saw the storm that had a report of 4-inch diameter hail, which can certainly do a lot of damage just itself. But a tornado possible with that.
And a new tornado warning.
Very close to I-70. So, Doug, go ahead and tell us about the new warning there, if you would.
So this is going to be for portions of Dickinson and Gary County, and this is at 7:09, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is radar indicated, but this is located over Chapman, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. So within this cluster, that's just to the south of Manhattan. So everything seems to be going just to the west or north of Manhattan, but Abilene and Dickinson County has really been the bullseye of these storms as it continues to push up to the north, just to the west of the Manhattan area, and that will go until 7:45, and then we'll continue with the tornado warning for portions of Marshall and Washington counties going until 7:40 or 7:30. So a couple of tornado warnings going for the next 15 to 30 minutes on our map here, with several severe thunderstorm warnings as well.
All right, thank you, Doug. So I mentioned a moment ago they were dropping part of that warning. It was for just a part of Washington, northeast Washington, and also a big chunk of Marshall County still under a tornado warning. That's for a storm that the Weather Service says was located 5 miles north of Bremen, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So still a tornado warning for that area. And so that's going to include the northwest part of Marshall County, and the northeast part of Washington County is going to be in this. So zooming in more closely here, there's the town of Hanover at this point. Zooming in closer again here, we're going to have it, really the rotation that looks to me like it's just about to go across the state line into Nebraska on this. I want to check the velocity again here, see exactly where we've got this thing. And again, that's a tornado warning for this area going until 7:30 is the time on this. So the tornado warning for that, they're saying it's moving northeast at roughly 40 miles per hour, and it's not confirmed on the ground at this time. We had a tornado earlier touch down near the town of Washington, and right now it's not considered to be on the ground. But if you're in the northeast part of Washington County or the southwest or northwest part of Marshall County, you should be taking cover right now with that tornado warning that's in place. All right, updates coming in there.
That's just for the severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail for portions of Clay, Washington, and Riley counties.
Okay, so that's this right here. Going to be Clay, Washington, and Riley. Hail the size of quarters, winds to 60, radar indicated warning there. There's just a ton of warnings on this to look at this point. All right, we have the tornado warning over here that does include Junction City now. Fort Riley is not in this one, but you're awfully close to it. And put the velocity back on here. This is the one that had a confirmed tornado earlier as it went north of the town of New Bern and Carlton, and touched down just southwest of Enterprise. Now the rotation to that is very close to Chapman at this point, and we're expecting to see that continue making its way northeast across parts of Gary County. Most likely the rotation with that will stay just west of Junction City, but if you're in Junction City, you certainly need to not get on I-70 driving west by any means right now, as you have that dangerous storm that's very close to Junction City, very close to I-70 there, just west of Junction City is where it's going to be located. All right, we'll check out that camera now from Can Drive. It's in Chapman exit, and still seeing very heavy rain there along the interstate, and cars moving slow, but I can't see any sort of damage or anything by any means at this point there, fortunately. But that's a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning, and again, that's for Dickinson and the western part of Gary County. So again, if you're in Junction City, you are in the tornado warning, but I would encourage you to stay inside, cover your head, be ready for this, but just don't get on I-70 going west by any means right now. You'll be driving into hail, and that tornado could be crossing I-70 just right about now. All right, zooming out, I'm going to put on the composite here and show you the bigger situation. And what we're going to have here, so put this back into motion, is you're going to see this, there's two different areas of storms. This stuff is forming along a dry line feature, and that's the activity we mentioned that could produce tornadic activity. And then to the west is where the cold front storms are beginning to form, and that'll ultimately catch up to the dry line. The two different features will actually become one, and then sweep southeast mostly as strong winds throughout the night, gusting likely 70 miles per hour for a lot of folks with these storms. So this round of seeing tornado warnings being common probably won't be as common an hour from now. Most likely we'll get into this being a straight line wind event at some point. But for now, we still have rotation, a couple of these. This one near Chapman still has spin with it, moving to the northeast toward Milford. I'll give you a time of arrival on that, taking it from the Chapman area to the northeast at roughly 35 miles per hour. It's going to be in Milford at 7:42. Chapman, it's basically there. Chapman Elementary School, we've got Milford Elementary School in the path as well. So I put those schools on there so people know as landmarks. A lot of times people know exactly those schools you live really close to. So I put a lot of those on there for that reason. And then up to the north, we have the tornado warning still in place for Marshall and Washington counties as well. And this is located a couple miles north of Bremen, and it's moving over into Nebraska shortly. But the rotation there looks like it's pretty close to Hanover at this point, and we'll also be moving northeast into the southern part of Nebraska. But I don't see any sort of debris flying with that storm. But it does look like it got a couple of areas of spin in it. Really, it really looks like it's got 3 or 4 different spots in it that could be producing some sort of rotation. There's a hook over here, southwest of Morrowville and Washington. That has to be watched. That's part of the severe storm. There's the white box there for Hanover, Herkimer, Hollenberg, Okedo. That's the tornado warning going until 7:30. And then we have this severe storm warning for a different area here, where this is all moving to the north. We have a severe storm warning for the Oldsburg, Westmoreland area with winds up to 60 and hail to the size of quarters. That's moving, actually winds to 70. They've upped that one now. So 70 mile per hour winds possible with this, as it's moving northeast toward areas like Wheaton and Onega is in the path of that. Thomas, you getting more pictures in over there of the storm coverage?
We can go ahead and come over here if we'd like. Absolutely. So we're still looking at, again, all the hail and the tornadoes that we've been seeing outside. Pretty small so far as we know. We are getting a few pictures here. A lot of you are sending me pictures on Facebook Messenger, and we would encourage you to send them through our website, as it is easier for us to be a little more interactive here. But now the pictures on Facebook are great, but it's a lot better if you can submit them here on a website. To do that, you just go to the weather homepage and go to the, here we'll show here, go to the weather homepage at WIBW.com, click on Weather Pics, and the pictures will show up, and you can see there's a few of them, but that have been submitted here. We'll go through them real quick. Here's from Barnes, Kansas. Again, lots of clouds out there, of course, and some hail. This one from Dickinson County. So these are those big hailstones we were talking about earlier. These look like maybe baseball size. We had the report of a softball size hail earlier down near Enterprise. This one it just says Dickinson County. You can see they're very large hailstones for sure. Look at the size of those hailstones. Lots of windshields broken, probably a couple windows blown out as well. Another picture here from Barnes, Kansas. More hail. This is from Wakefield, Kansas, and so this is more quarter-sized hail on that storm. And then again, here's that weak funnel we had about 20 minutes ago near Washington, Kansas, in that northern storm. So thank you for submitting those photos. We'll go ahead and take a look now at our Manhattan camera. You can see a lot of rain some storms, a lot of thunder and lightning. Not seeing any hail yet on this camera, but again, that storm is still down towards the south. And so, Doug Myers, you have an update for us?
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the rainfall reports that we've had from the radar. I intended to show this at midday, but our computer graphics were acting up. But here's what we had. Of course, we had a lot of heavy rain this morning along Highway 36. And, of course, we had the rain that we've had the past couple of hours. Many spots in the blue, which indicates about 1 to 3 inches worth. And then some areas even in the purple, just south of Marysville and in the Washington area, which would indicate about 3 to 4 inches worth of rain. And this is where the rain is definitely needed relative compared to the rest of northeast Kansas on the drought situation that we are in this area. And so we will continue to add on to this for pretty much all of northeast Kansas, probably getting at least a 1/4 inch everywhere as these storms move through. And again, the tornado watch goes until 11 p.m. For the entire WIBW viewing area as we continue to monitor a couple of tornado warnings. Jeremy?
All right, Doug, they have just dropped the tornado warning for Marshall and Washington, Kansas counties. They are now out of the tornado warning. So the one tornado warning that we have now is going to be for Dickinson and the western parts of Gary County. That's the only area we have now under a tornado warning. Looking outside live now from Manhattan, from the Flint Hills Discovery Center, that view is to the south. You can see a lot of lightning in town. Manhattan is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Hail the size of quarters, winds to 60. Looks to be the threat with this as it's making its way across Riley County. The worst part of that storm looks like it's right along I-70 at this point and making its way to the northeast. So areas around St. George, you'll be in the path of this as well. You'll be dealing with strong straight line winds, probably 60 miles per hour, but some of the warnings lately now are coming in with mentions of winds that could be up to 70 miles per hour. So some of this has been intensifying a bit over the last few minutes here with the storm reports that are coming in. All right, let's check out another view here from Can Drive cameras. This is going to be on I-70 close to the Manhattan exit. Get one to play here. All right, so there we go. This is at Deep Creek Road. That's at the Deep Creek Road exit. And you can see how heavy the rain's coming down there on I-70 at the Deep Creek Road exit, where probably the strongest part of that storm looks to be. This is at exit 313 is where that's located, and the winds don't look to be quite to the severe limits at this point right there in that shot, but that's kind of the close to where the stronger winds would be at this point. So again, the National Weather Service has canceled the warning, the tornado warning that was in place a few minutes ago to the north in Washington and Marshall counties, and now the only tornado warning we have is the activity that's right on the Gary and Dickinson County lines. So I'm going to have to watch this. Looks like a little spin showing up here just to the south of I-70. And this is a part of that storm that has the severe storm warning with that's going up toward Manhattan and St. George. So kind of on the south side of that. As I go back over to the velocity, you'll see a bright area of red right up against some green there. So I have to watch that as it's making its way toward I-70 at this point and making its way to the north. That's not a tornado warning yet, but in the area it is. It certainly could become one. So we'll monitor that and let you know, of course. And then over here, this is the one that had a tornado confirmed with it a little while ago. Now it is a Doppler radar indicated tornado, but the rotation right about there at this point. The distance on that is going to be from Chapman. We'll put it about 5 miles northeast of Chapman, and it's going to be moving northeast at roughly 35 miles per hour. So the time of arrival on that from the rotation will take it to the north at 35, and we're going to put that in Milford at 7:41, and looks like Walla Walla School at 7:30, and now we've got a new warning update there, it looks like, for Morris County. All right, so they're issuing more warnings down the line here. That's an interesting looking warning that they've dropped here for areas to the south of that. All right, why are we doing this? Okay, ping pong ball size hail. This is just a moment ago. Severe storms along a line from 4 miles north of Chapman to 5 miles southwest of Enterprise, moving southeast at 35 miles per hour. All right, there we go. This is the cold front starting to move in now. Now our wind event is starting to take shape. So you'll see this. So I wondered why they were taking this storm line far to the southeast. When I we're watching all these storms moving northeast. So I looked at why do they have this box going down this way when there's nothing down there. The National Weather Service is saying this line is now going to move this direction. So that is the cold front itself now starting to overtake the storms within the dry line. And ultimately, we're going to see that become more of a wind damage event over a large area. As Doug was mentioning earlier, we saw Concordia already down to a dew point in the 40s. That means the cold front has moved through Concordia.
Hey, Jeremy, I'm wondering if it's what we call a wake low.
A wake low?
I'm wondering if that's what they're seeing.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm not seeing differences in temperature right now. Everyone's still in the 70s.
Have we had any really wild wind reports along there?
There has been reports of some damage being reported, not from the storms themselves.
Okay. All right.
So I'm wondering if that's what it is.
I'm not sure. All right. We're going to have to figure that out. All right. Tornado warning continues. Let's mention this one for Dickinson County. Moving northeast at 30 miles per hour, northeast of Chapman. And as mentioned, showed that a moment ago, dust storm reported near Glasgow, where the visibility is 1/4 of a mile with winds to 65. And now we're looking at Clay, Dickinson, Gary Riley. And that warning is for 7:45 with winds to 70 miles per hour. All right, so we've got the tornado warning again that's continuing right in there for the western part of Morris County. And I'm going to have to figure out that wake low in a moment, see if that's what's up with this. That's a really unique situation you just do not see very often. I think I've seen it once, and it is really weird. Just strong straight-line winds that you tend to get out of those. So around Chapman, the rotation is right here, just northeast of Chapman, about 5 miles. And that's the tornado warning. That's the only tornado warning we have at this moment. So Junction City, you're right here. Potential tornadoes right about here. So if you're in Junction City, this is going away from you. Fort Riley, this is probably going to stay just to your west, but certainly close enough that if you're in Fort Riley, a lot of folks in Fort Riley might not be from this area, but the tornado warning looks like it's just the west side of Fort Riley and over in the eastern part of Dickinson County. So most likely it stays away from the folks at Fort Riley. So 2-inch diameter hail and potential tornadoes. Radar indicated is what the National Weather Service is mentioning with this. All right, let me zoom this back out. I'm going to see this area of the strong
Jeremy, it
winds.
looks like we have a high wind warning for Cloud, Ottawa, and Republic County until 10 this evening.
Okay.
So we're just starting to get some dynamics going. If you want to take me, I can show you the wind speeds right now, or the wind gusts, I should say. We have a 67 mile per hour wind gust in Concordia, but only 6 in Clay Center. And you can see a lot of the areas in the 30s and 40s in the mile per hour range for the rest of northeast Kansas along and south of I-70. Again, the reason why this may not necessarily be a cold front is because everyone is still in the 70s. And as far as the dry line is concerned, we have temperatures that are in the upper 50s to near 60 for everyone except 43 in Concordia, starting to drop a little bit in Abilene. So this is certainly very dynamic with this storm system, with what these storms are doing across the area right now. And again, we're continuing to monitor numerous severe thunderstorm warnings in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range with wind gusts, and we do have that tornado warning going until 7:45 as well. So we are continuing to monitor a lot of activity for the west central portions of our viewing area, nothing really from Clay Center out west other than the very strong winds, but you're dry. However, more rain out to the west will be moving in as that cold front pushes through here in the next couple of hours.
All right, thank you, Doug. So this is the view from Concordia right now, and you can see kind of the raindrops blowing across the camera there, and the wind report there a few moments ago, 67 mile per hour gusts, and you can see our camera shaking and the breeze in Concordia. So really amazing thing about that, one amazing thing is that it's not raining there right now, so that's why there's a high wind warning in Concordia. It's not a severe thunderstorm warning, although the winds are gusting to almost 70 miles per hour. It is dry, so that's not a severe thunderstorm. That is behind the dry line activity and behind the cold front most likely as well. So we're seeing extremely strong winds even behind this line of storms. And that's from the southwest, what the National Weather Service says they're expecting with these winds gusting up to 70. And that's not just now. They're saying 70 mile per hour wind gusts are possible in Concordia all the way up until 10 p.m. That's Republic, Cloud, and Ottawa counties. All three could be dealing with winds gusting as high as 70 40 to 50 mile per hour winds common, with gusts up to 70 for the next 2.5 hours. A high wind warning in that area. All right, seeing a new warning added onto the mix here to the south. This one is part of the activity down around Wichita that's been growing and expanding to the northeast. Now we're getting to Chase County. So we have 8:15 p.m., hail quarter size, 60 mile per hour winds. Chase County in this one until 8:15. Severe storm warning, Council Grove. You'll have to watch this one as it moves up your way. That one's moving to the northeast at roughly 35 miles per hour. And then this activity right here near Abilene was the first thing we saw that's got a southeast motion to it. So behind this, we have some very powerful straight line winds. They're not necessarily associated with thunderstorms, but even behind the cluster of storms, we're seeing the damaging winds happening. So Concordia, well behind this line of thunderstorms, is seeing severe winds. It was 67 miles per hour was the gust just a few moments ago. All right, let's check the velocity on here. We have the tornado warning that continues for parts of Gary County and Dickinson County as well. Zooming more closely to that, the rotation is not as well defined as it was a few moments ago. Let's see what the latest update is on this. All right, that's a severe storm warning update. All right, let's see what the latest update is on the tornado warning there. I believe it was going until 7:45 p.m. So we'll check out the reflectivity here and bring up the tornado warning data. So we've got this till 7:45. Winds possibly as high, hail is possibly up to 2 inches diameter. So that's for Gary and Dickinson County till 7:45. The last update was 6 minutes ago with this, and they still say it's capable of producing a tornado northeast of Chapman, moving northeast at 30. So that's going to be heading toward areas like Milford, and Fort Riley is not in the path of this. Looks like it's probably going to stay just off to your west. And let's put the velocity mode back on this. We'll play it into motion, and you can see that spin as it went past Chapman, right through Enterprise, Chapman, and then it kind of looks like it fizzles a bit as it gets closer to Milford and Fort Riley there at the end of that radar loop. So that tornado warning goes for 15 more minutes. I'm not sure it will last quite that long. Another interesting part of that storm is to the southwest there. You can see near New Bern and Abilene, the storm is actually starting to move to the east-southeast. So that's ultimately going to cut off the moisture to that top part of the storm, most likely. So we'll see what happens with it. Most likely it's going to become more of a straight-line wind event with a lot of these storms starting to turn east and southeast over the next few hours. But again, from what I see right now on that storm with the tornado warning that's in Dickinson and Gary County, I don't see a whole lot of rotation with that at this point, but the tornado warning continues at least for the next few minutes right now. Another update here, there's that severe weather, that's a wind gust of 67 miles per hour in Concordia. That's at the airport there. That was just a couple of minutes ago. 67 miles per hour, that's not even in the thunderstorm. That's actually behind the storms. And then we have a severe storm warning that goes until 7:45 for Gary, Pottawatomie, Wabunsee, and Riley for 60 mile per hour winds. So we have a lot of counties under these severe thunderstorm warnings this time, and it's the one that's under the tornado warning for the next few minutes. And most likely we'll see that one cut off. If we get to a point where we don't have tornado warnings in place, then we'll end the wall-to-wall coverage here and just go live on our streaming on WIBW.com. And of course,